Hello, my dear friends. Let me share on Twitter that we have started. Hello, my dear friends. I hope many people joined today the live show. My last video where I said I had lots of thumbs up and also lots of thumbs down. About half of the people did a thumbs down. I said, in case of doubt, bet on two horses. And I think. Hi, Aaron. Welcome to the live show. But what the hell are you posting, eh? Godverdomme, this is spam. I'm gonna have to start immediately banning you. That's not a great start of a live chat. How can I do that, eh? That's a real pity. Anyway, yeah, well, you deserve it, eh? What crap are you posting, eh? I will hide you. So hi, Frog. So in the end, all that matters is your portfolio composition, because that will decide how much returns you will have in the future. And the biggest problem I see is that most people in crypto have 90%. It's quite surprising, but yeah, many people have 90% plus today invested in crypto, and I really don't think that's rational. Um, I don't think that's rational. I mean, if the odds for something to go down is higher than for it to go up, you should not be have such a high exposure. Like, you can, of course, you're never gonna agree fully on how high the odds are for it to go down or how high the odds are for it to go up, but you can agree on a ballpark. And when you have 90% exposure to crypto, that means that you think chances are 90% that it will go up, and only 10% that it will go down. And I think if you think about that, most crypto investors will admit that actually, no, it's not 90% certain crypto will go up here. Yes, I am, for example, 90% certain that we saw the bottom half a year ago and that it will not go lower. But I'm not 90% certain we will not go down to 6K. Actually, I think it's 50-50, most people would say. Or people will even say, like, actually, I think there's a very high chance we will go down to 6K or even 5K. Actually, it's like 80-20. There's 80% chance we're going to see a serious correction here. Most people would agree with that. Yet still, they would say, like, yes, I think it's 80% chance will go down, but at the same time, I'm 80% invested in it. And that's not rational. It's not. It's not how you should invest if you are care about profits, if you care about optimizing your portfolio for the highest, to make the most profit as possible. That's a scientific method. It's called the Kelly criterion, and you do have to follow some rules to achieve that. And the first rule is your bet size should be directly correlated with your chance to make money. So if your chance to make money is high, you should have a big bet size, a high allocation. If your chance to make money is low, you should have a low allocation. Now, most crypto investors will say, like, yeah, but actually, yes, I think it will go down in the short term, but in the long term, I think it will go up a lot. Okay, but then you have to combine these two factors. If it's short term a bad bet and long term a good bet, that makes it an average bet, and that means it deserves an average allocation. However, if you say, like, actually short term I think it will go up a lot and long term I think it will go up a lot, yeah, that means it's a great investment, a great risk reward ratio in the short and long term, deserves a high allocation. So and if you think actually in the short term I think it's a bad bet, and in the long term I also think it's a bad bet, like, that means it's a very bad investment in your opinion, and it deserves a low allocation or no allocation. So That's where most investors make a mistake today, I believe, that they are overinvested in crypto. Considering that they actually agree that short term it's a bad bet, then you should make it an average allocation, not a high allocation. That's investing from using the Kelly criterion, and is the best guideline you can take to make great profits in the market. Hi, all. Welcome to the live chat. Very nice to see you. 17 people. Welcome. And let me take a look at the chat. Oh, yeah. Frog is the only one that said hi. So hi, Frog. How are you? So that's the first thing I want to say, because I often say that you should never sell crypto if you bought it on the cheap, and that's true for most people, because the biggest mistake people make in a crypto bull market is to sell way too soon. So that's really the first thing you have to really try to avoid, is to sell way too soon. And that would be today. If the bull market has started, yes, you should not sell any crypto. That's true. But that does not apply to people that are 90% invested in crypto. That applies to people that are 10, 20, 30, up to 50% invested in crypto. And they have thought carefully about it, and they feel that their risk level is high, and then they suddenly double, triple their money with crypto, and then they sell. That's most beginners in crypto make that mistake. I made that also, and that's why I say no, don't sell crypto. But that does not apply to many of my viewers that actually are not like that. They are, yeah, they are either young people that started investing and have a very high location, but they also have low capital. But that does apply to them also, and it also applies to people that have been investing for a long time in crypto, and have therefore a high allocation also. In that case, yeah. Your exposure is actually not in line with the risk reward ratios we see currently today in the market. Hi, Crypto Medius, nice to see you. How is my favorite bear doing? Actually, Crypto Medius also decided to invest in Tesla, and I think that's really a fantastic story that I notice many people don't understand. And especially not when you talk about leverage. They really don't understand it, how you could invest a lot in Tesla and then even use leverage. But the Tesla story on sig is an absolute amazing story that I really recommend that you dig deep in, because all the objections that you see in the market and that people make are false. For example, people say that Tesla is not able to keep up market share, and it will lose a lot of market share. Well, that's not true. It's just factually untrue. If you look at the market share that Tesla has 5 or 7 or 8 years ago, was about 15% of the EV market, and then that's a broad EV also means plugins and hybrids. Here, 15% Tesla had. Today it still is 15%. So after 8 years, they have not lost any market share. They have opened up the market. They are market leaders. They started were the first fully electrical vehicle, and so they are a market leader from the start and have continued to be up until today, not lost any market share, and that's very remarkable. Considering that it has so much competition indeed, and so many car makers have really tried to break into the EV market, have put in a lot of money, and sold at a loss or close to. It has been a loss position for most big car makers, and still they have not gained market share. That's very remarkable. But there's so many things told about Tesla that, for example, there is a demand issue that they can't sell all their vehicles. That's why they are lowering their prices on their vehicles. But it's just a straight lie. If you just dig in to the numbers, you will see that Tesla is outselling even great brands in the amount of cars they sell. It's just crazy. I mean, there is no demand problem, but this is all very important. Why? Because it's so recognizable for me when I started investing in Bitcoin. and you believe these things too, that you have these kind of ideas why it's a bad investment, why it's not worth looking into, but you really have to challenge those notions. That's how you really can make great investment, by challenging your own beliefs about something, and see if it's really true. Check it online if it's really true, and then discovering it's not true, and that's how you get to yeah, great insights, because that's why most people don't invest, because of these general beliefs about something, and it's, you really have to overcome them, and with Tesla you can really do that. Hi all, welcome to the live chat. Hi Ricardo Peters. Hi fuck the gov. He asking, hi Mark, why do you not want to be an Obyte witness? It's because I have my hands full, and I think it would be a great addition to become a witness, but you do have to have technical knowledge of that. You have to run probably a server. I don't know what comes with it, but there's some technical expertise that comes with it that I don't have. So at the time, I tried to find someone who wants to work with me. That's two years ago now, to start a witness, and I found, I asked Roger Eickhoff, for example, and he did not want to do that. Together, we lost touch. But later he decided to do it on his own, and that's the right decision. Because actually I would only be the face. I would actually not be running it technically, and that's where the power lies. Of course, when you run a witness, you actually get well, it's not that much power actually. It's not like you are a miner in Bitcoin where you validate transactions, no, but you are witnessing transactions. There comes responsibility with it, but much less power. But it is a responsibility, and but the problem is, yeah, it requires a technical expertise, and yeah, I just don't have it. I haven't found a partner, and actually I have my hands full. I don't want to invest more in Obyte financially, but also not with my resources. I took over the Freebie Black Byte exchange because it would be otherwise been shut down. I have also worked with that. Um, and I don't want to put more investment of my time or money right now in Obyte. Uh, as mentioned very often, I don't believe it's a good idea to invest in smaller projects at the early stages of a bull market or during a bear market, because it will take a long time for smaller projects to crawl out of the pit, as I have learned in the past the hard way. So I'm mainly and primarily an investor. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm an investor. I allocate capital, and that's my primary job. And I have my hands full with that. So I can take a little bit of entrepreneurial responsibilities, but not too much. So maybe that will change in the future. If the bull market indeed has started for crypto and things have gone up, and my first crypto investment Bitcoin Cash has gone up a lot versus other coins, then I might shift investment allocation, but also energy allocation towards a project like Obyte more. Thanks for the question. Good question, Mr. Fuck the Gov, and I love your name. The bot guy. Hey Mark, still think this is a bull trap? Yes, I do. Komaro. Komarto, hi Komarto. What if the true cryptomania is still to come and we remain in this unreasonable territory for more than a year? I think that is very likely to happen. Hi Mark Hoop. Hi LSCA Forum. Mark, big fans, you know this, but live chat's a great moment to pick your brain. So a question, you sold half of NXT in 15 at the bottom. You sold half BCH in March. Also, you said you were bearish. Wait, what's the question? You sold half in March. Also, you said you were bearish. Yeah. So I think what he's suggesting is that I made the same mistake as I made in previous bear market. It's correct. I did sell a big, almost half my NXT at the bottom. That's not really true. Actually, the bottom was a 7 million market cap for NXT at the end of 2015. That was the bottom, and then it recovered to 20 million market cap NXT, and that's where I indeed sold way too soon, of course, half my crypto investment in NXT. And some of these diversifications were bad. A piece I sold for a Lambo engine, I said that was bad. I sold 10 million NXT, for example, for a Lambo engine. That was worth only like what was it, $50,000 at the time. But later 10 million NXT went up to $20 million. So yes, that was a terrible diversification, you could say, away from crypto, and it is. Uh, I also invested in a startup with another 10 million NXT. That also didn't pan out. Yes, I made those mistakes, but later I actually sold all my NXT at valuations. I don't know how much it was, but I basically stopped believing in a project. I invested all that in other crypto projects. I think that was okay. It's just the diversification away from crypto was not good, because the things that I sold and put in other crypto projects in the end went very well. As crypto went up, these projects went up too. So but the diversification is out of crypto into like fiat investments, like startups, and into a Lambo engine. Of course, financially, were not the right choice, but this is like a part of my strategy that yeah, I combine risk taking with building security, and that always means that yes, you do take some chances somewhere else also that don't end up panning out. But I would certainly, like, I did learn important lessons from that. Like, yes, you should not diversify out of crypto, but it's never a black and white story. Actually, looking back on it, um, I'm happy I did that whole Lambo experience. I'm happy I bought that Lambo engine, even though it costed me a lot and missed opportunity financially. I had the whole Lambo experience. I had a great time, and all work, no play makes for a dull day. You can't just say like it's not. You really need also relaxation and entertainment to perform well. Huh? And so there is you should have both of these things. So looking back on it, yes, it was. I wouldn't do this again. I wouldn't do this again. The opportunity cost, missed opportunity cost was too high, but I'm happy I did it. Huh? That's important. Um, uh, yeah, and so today about BCH, you could say I make the same mistake of selling a big piece of crypto and diversifying it into non-crypto investments. You could say that, huh? But I think well, the jury is still out on that. That's only the case if the bull market has started and we get a correction, but it's small, and I end up not buying back crypto. Yes, then that's true, and I made the same mistake of diversifying out of crypto way too soon. But it could also go very differently, which I think is more probable. Is that actually crypto will correct very strongly, will actually likely go to a new low, and in the meantime, Tesla will likely double, and thanks to the margin I took on it, I actually quadruple my investment. That's I think what is more likely to happen. And if that happens, well, I will have done very well. So I think the jury is still out on that, whether I made the same mistake or not. Huh? You know, you can't really copy paste movements from the past to the future. The only thing you can copy paste is your critical thinking power, and the speed on which you act. That's the only thing you can really like improve, because it's always different. Yeah, and I do think that that's what we're seeing today here. Like, it looks like the start of the bull market, but it's not. Huh? Yes, that's my opinion. Thanks so much for the question, NSCA, and still enjoying also reading from time to time your Telegram group. Okay, let me see what other questions. Fuck the golf. Sorry, Mark, says he, but Tesla is a hyped coin. Did you drive BMW? Tesla is bad compared to the BMW. Also, all big manufacturers work on electrical and self-driving cars. Um, Well, I did drive a Tesla, and for me, it was too quiet. You don't hear it, but it was a powerful, high quality car. Huh? Um, but yes, I also love much more driving in a Lamborghini Huracan Performante than driving in a Tesla. Sure, there are many cars that are much more cool. But uh, uh, I mean, yeah, I mean, for many people, a Tesla is absolutely worth it financially and also in the experience. Yeah, I mean, it's very comparable to, I don't know, what can I say? Yeah, it's just a general critique. I don't know where to start. Fuck the golf. Um, as an investor, you have to approach it like BMW is the same value as Tesla today. But look at BMW's growth numbers. How much did it succeed in growing its revenue over the past 10 years? That's nothing compared to Tesla. Tesla is a fast growing company, BMW is a stagnating company. Um, that's super important when you're as an investor. You want to invest in the future in something that's growing fast, not in something that's stagnating. That's the first critique I would give here. The driving experience is okay. Your personal experiences you prefer in BMW. Do some market research, and you will see that BMW owners are much less satisfied on average than Tesla owners of their purchase. That's important. Huh? How likely is a BMW owner to buy another BMW after this car compared to Tesla owners? It's a huge difference. A BMW owner is much less, um, 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 how do you say, loyal to the brand than a Tesla owner and much less satisfied on average. This is all very important when you make investments. RSCA forum. Um, I'm not sure. I can't read fully what you say there. My emotions got the best of me. I should have sticked with the Trollo chart, but lately you kind of put the importance of Trollo a bit lower in favor of other metrics. I'm not sure what you mean. I think the Trollo chart is super important and really helps me a lot. I haven't published it lately, but we all know where it stands. We're now in overvaluation as the market goes up, and but what's important is how deep do we go in this bear market. What have been the patterns in the past? And is this pattern continuing or is it breaking? And right now the pattern has broken. And that's unlikely. So this is just another indicator that that we likely were going down and not up, because patterns are less likely to break than not to break. Um, we only went to 50% undervaluation, and that's unlikely that will be the bottom of this bear market. So considering in the previous bear market we went to minus 70% undervaluation, and in the bear market before we went to minus 50% undervaluation. It's more likely that we go to a higher undervaluation of minus 80% instead of a similar undervaluation that we saw in the bear market of 2011. That was a fast growing sector, then much faster than today, crypto. So of course at the time seeing only 50% undervaluation, that was probable, but that's not probable in this bear market. That we will only see 50% undervaluation. No. So I think it's very important to keep the Trollo chart in front of you and when judging probabilities. Dildo of Doom. I really enjoy your posts on Twitter. Thank you so much, and your strong belief that this bear market is not over. Hey, Mark. Market will dump to new lows, so no more stress, please. Yes, and actually, I'm not stressed about it. It's just I'm not stressed about it actually. the first response is, of course, when crypto goes out, like, damn. But the second response is counting my money also, and I'm happy. I don't mind Bitcoin Cash going up with 10% in a day. Half my portfolio is invested in it, so I'm happy with that. At the same time, Tesla is going up also, so I'm making actually money left and right in this market, and I'm happy. Um, so I'm not stressed, and people for some reason love to misrepresent my positions. Like the way I look at the market and the positions I take in the market, people love to present me as a crypto seller, and even not acting like I'm not investing in crypto. That's not true at all. I'm more invested than some of these bulls in crypto. Uh, Anyway, but actually, it's nothing to be proud of today, because I think we're getting closer and closer to a serious correction where people will actually praise those that are selling today, not praise those that are holding today. And that's what being evangelized for the most part. I should be holding. I think that's actually the wrong advice. Um, do you see? Hi, I can't read your name, but do you see any other similar projects like NXT today? Yes, I do. I do, but I mean, there are thousands of projects, but um, the, actually, it's not a great thing to be like NXT, because NXT fucked up big time. It all depends on the management, and they made very, very, very wrong decisions at the time, I think. But I think a project like Obyte is similar in that it's a low market cap coin. It's what, worth 30 million or so, uh, and it has great potential. Actually, NXT, even though it was so poorly managed, is succeeding, going from a market cap of 10 million to a market cap of 2 billion in the previous bull market. That's crazy, and I would never have expected that. That actually a loser, a project that totally fails in getting adoption and winning the market over, goes to a valuation of 2 billion. Like, that's to me crazy, and that learned me that um, that you should actually really also value smaller projects, because the percentage gains are so much higher. And gives me confidence that um, uh, project like Obyte and Bismuth, these are the small projects I'm in. Like, okay, it's not a great time to invest right now, but it's certainly not a good idea to sell such coins. You have to hold them, and actually, we'll see about the future. But it makes a lot of sense to invest more in it at a later stage in the bull market. Many people that think that's today, like, whoa, whoa, Bitcoin is going up, and actually we're in a bull market, soon it's gonna break 20K, and usually then altcoins start to go up a lot. But let's front run the market, and let's start investing in altcoins heavy today. But I think that's gonna be a huge capital mistake as we see a new low. I really think odds are high to see a new low, but also, like, it really, the market needs to be cleaned up. So many crappy projects still, so probability for a project to actually go to zero is very high for a small project. And these projects, I really like about Obyte and Bismuth, that they are keep on pushing, keep on producing. But of course, like all projects, they also suffer from the bear market. The workload, like people, talented people leave. The workload on the main players becomes higher. This is everywhere the case. But I don't think the end is near here, and it will become much harder, and so many projects will not survive this. And that's very good, because there are a lot of crappy projects. Huh? But yeah, and valuations, I really believe, are out of touch. Even for my favorite project like Bitcoin Cash, $8 billion. I'm sorry, but that's overvalued, highly overvalued, and Bitcoin BTC is a total joke, in my opinion, in valuation. A total joke. It's really not worth 100 billion or 150 billion dollars. Not at all. Um, Let's see at the other questions. Hi all, welcome to the live chat. Today the theme is what's your portfolio composition? Because that's the biggest question. Um, it's not always like returns are super important. I often say that track record is super important. What have been your past returns? That will learn you how good you are. And if you're gonna follow people, look at their past returns. How much did they have per year on average? It is super important as an investor to study that. But there's also another factor that's also very important, like how did you achieve those returns? Because if you took stupid risks and you have high returns, actually that's not gonna end well. Um, on the other hand, if you took very low risk but you do have high returns, not super high but high, actually that's an amazing performance, much better than the guy that has high returns but took stupid risks. Huh? So always have to judge that. Huh? Like, what if this would happen? What if that would happen? How would this person or how would this portfolio have bowed it? Huh? And if you look at my past, my returns are have been very very good. I had 33% on average the last 10 years. But also, like, how did I achieve them? Actually, the first 4 years were much lower. It was only 6%. So actually, my average returns the past 4 years are much higher than 33% because I had to make up for the first 4 years that were much lower. It was only 5%. But so you see a clear positive line in the amount of returns that I achieve, but also like what would have happened, for example, if crypto would have failed? How much did I risk there? Actually, I only risked like 10% of my portfolio. And then later I risked 80% of my portfolio, but I still had 20% in other investments. Actually, very soon, when crypto only went up a little, I did invest in some other projects that didn't work out. But okay, I did try to like, I bet on different horses, and I've always had like this taken care of, like what if this fails, will I be okay? Huh? So, and this is what I'm doing today too. Someone says like, hey, but you want to go all in, and now you're betting on two horses, what's going on? Well, yes, I'm willing to go all in if the risk reward is very very good. And we didn't achieve that, for me, in my opinion, with crypto. That's why I never made the step. Huh? Even though for Bitcoin Cash we're up from a low of $80 to $500, you could say, but that was the moment to go all in. Well, actually, I was very awake when it was at $80, and I recommended to everyone to invest at $100 in Bitcoin Cash and take a majority exposure. But I never made the step to go all in because I was convinced we did not see the bottom right there. And I'm still convinced today. Huh? And I could be wrong in that, but it's only when you really have that conviction, that a very strong conviction and a lots of evidence that the bottom is in, that you can do something so crazy. Huh? And that it's really a good idea to do that. Huh? And we never saw that. So the end result is I never did that. Huh? But I did go 80% actually in. I invested 80% of my portfolio in crypto, not on $80. I invested at $250, 80%. That was a very big move. Later I scaled it back to only 40%. And now I have two investments going because just the risk reward is not good enough, in my opinion. That's why I scaled it back from 80 to 40%. At the same time today, I'm investing in Tesla, very, very big. Not with actually 50%, but actually I levered it up. So 100% of my portfolio is actually invested in Tesla, and I have a margin loan of minus 50% because I strongly believe actually there the risk reward is extremely good today. There the odds that we saw the low are much higher than in crypto. Huh? A fast growing company that has not gone up in share value for 5 years, but has in the meantime tenfolded its revenue and its adoption. Like, yes, that and just went from like $350 to $180. Like it cut in half, while the stock market went sideways again for 2 years. While in the the global trend here is that we're in a long-term bull market for stocks, and within that you see such a company that's such a success and gets trashed in the media so badly, and Yeah, most investors sitting on serious losses in Tesla today. Can't say that in crypto. Huh? Um, but yeah, it's a tremendous story, and that you can. So that's why I invest big in that, because the risk reward is much better there. So, all very important. Thanks for asking. Let's see. Mark, do you have a Tesla? Do you have plans to buy one? No, because I don't need cars. Um, Ali Hash, Mark. But actually, yes. I think I would buy the new Tesla Roadster. I think it's going to be a great car, but only if I have the environment for it also. Um, Mark, you need to look into ICX. Pontus. Any thoughts about Bitfinex? A lot of prominent and Leo, a lot of prominent people in this space. Yeah, no guys, no guys, please. All these small projects. I'm not investing in small projects, crypto projects, at this point in time. Uh, Raziel asks, so you think it's still likely we see a new bottom? So when do you think it won't be likely anymore? I think when we breach 20K, uh, yeah, we breached the all-time highs. I would still be a little bit skeptical, but I would probably think that now the probabilities have become like higher that the new bull market has started, and then if we see indeed 20K be support, when you have that first big correction and 20K holds and then it goes back up, yeah, then I will give it like a 90% probability that the bull has started, and also that yeah, you should have a majority allocation invested, but by that point probably too late to do that. But I would just admit, and actually my 50% allocation would probably be already again very high, much higher than this if Tesla fails. Um, so yeah, I would not have to do anything, but I would have to admit that I was wrong. So I would do that then. How are the kids doing? Asks Comarto. Very good. I have a beautiful daughter. She's now 6 months, and another baby coming soon. So I'm the happiest man in the world, and I'm happy I waited. I took the risk to not make children. When I was 20, when I was 30, I wasn't ready for it, and I was a mess in many ways. So I'm happy I wait for it, because yeah, it's a very very big job, and if you're not in standing in your shoes straight, and you don't have a high confidence, you don't make money well. It's a nightmare. You pick the wrong girls, girls that don't take responsibility over the children, that don't work hard in the household. You're not assertive enough to make them work, and make them responsible over their jobs, and you can do it all yourself. It's a nightmare, and I'm very happy I wait with it till I was confident in my mind, and strong, and assertive, and also financially very secure. So I'm very happy I did all that, and the results show today. Like, I'm very happy with my girl. The pregnancy was very very hard, and we had some serious issues, but we came through it, and it's going very well, the relationship, and the daughter is just a true joy, a true sunshine. Um, Hi all, welcome to the live chat. So how's your portfolio composition, guys? Can you share it in the chat? Like how much percent? I don't want to know how much money, but how much percent is invested in crypto? How much percent in other things? Huh? And how much, or if you want to be more specific, how much percent in which coin? And if you have other investments, how much percent in that? That's very interesting, and that's the most important question you need to ask yourself. And then also look at the risk reward probabilities and see if it's in alignment with each other. So please, if you could share that, I would be very curious and give some feedback on that. I'm gonna not read all questions anymore, but just scroll over them and pick the interesting ones. How is your baby? Do you think it's a good idea to raise it in Africa compared to Europe? Thanks, RSCA, for the question. Yeah, Africa is very different. You have a lot of poverty here, but also it's really like fast growing. Um, I think it depends a little bit on the preference of the mother, and in this case, the mother really wants to live somewhere else, so we'll probably be doing that. But I really like the idea to live in several places and have homes in several places, because every place has its qualities and its deficiencies. So it's really a great idea. It's the same that investments have different investments or have different girls, because yeah, they have different qualities, and it's really nice to have that choice. But you have to choose. You cannot have different of everything. Like I don't have different cars, because everything you have in your life also requires maintenance and all that. So you have to make choices, but. Yeah, that's probably what we will do. It depends on the mother, and in this case, she likes to live in another place and see her child being raised in another place. So, in the long term, probably we will do that for her. But then the other girl may want to live here more. So we'll see how that goes. But when it comes to being raised, you have many different worlds in the same country. Like you can be raised in the slums here, and that would be a very hard life, or you can be raised uh, in the kind of beautiful places I live here, and the people that you see here, the children that you see playing, are children from all kind of countries, that people that work here in Kenya. For diplomacy jobs, it's a mixture of rich people basically. If they are raised like this is actually pretty much being raised like in America, or like in Europe, huh? um, Let me see at the other questions. I'm gonna go over them quickly now because I have to end the live show soon. Yeah, I'm not interested in Libra coin, Facebook. I have no time for these things. How do you value your wealth, in US dollar or in Bitcoin? Asks World Watch. Not in Bitcoin anymore. I used to do that, but yeah, I think Bitcoin is a project that will fail in the long term. So why value your wealth in that? That's not smart. Even though it has done very well up until today. No, I don't do that anymore. I think yeah, the US dollar is the best choice because it's the most used currency in the world, and you do have to take into account 5% inflation per year, but it gives you a very good idea how much the you're really going up in value, your portfolio, or down. You do have to deduct 5% per year, of course, when using US dollars, but other than that, it really gives you a good idea how much your value has gone up of your wealth. You can't do that with Bitcoin. Um, let's see. Yes, I did get my baby vaccinated. I think that's very important. Vaccinations. There is a low risk that you get problems, but a very high risk that you avoid much bigger problems. I mean, that you avoid problems. So it's a good bet to take. Tell your wife nice things to do. I do that very often when they deserve it. I tell nice things about things they do nice or the things they do great, and I also let them know if I'm not happy about something. That's very important to do also, and that you expect, yeah, a great performance from your from the managers of your investments, but also from your girls, huh? And also from your children, and from your friends, and from your family. The first one sharing his portfolio: 70% BSV, 15% Suffix, and 15% Cardano. I don't know Suffix, can't judge yet, but 70% BSV I don't think is a wise move. It's a fork of Bitcoin Cash. I really think it's not gonna do well in the long term because of the leadership not being have low moral standards. If a leader has been caught on lying, it's really not a good idea to invest in them because it's a very poor strategy. You can't trust people like that. You should not do that. And then 70% is a very, very high allocation. I would not do that. Also, people that want to people that use the government too much to get entrepreneurial success is also very, very bad. What else? But thanks for sharing. Cardano, I can't judge Wombachi. I know the project exists, but I don't know like the specifics about it. So my recommendation would be BSV actually just went up a lot. Change it for BCH. I think that's the best move. I'm in BCH and not in BSV. But otherwise, change it for other crypto projects that you like. Yeah. Because you asked, Albert Sung, hi. My portfolio can be found on Wallmine, and I make YouTube videos on it called Stock Screener. Okay. Um, Here, James Luckhurst has 97% BTC and 2% LTC. Oh. And then also a little bit of Neo and Gigabyte. Keeping away from alts at the moment. Last bull, alts didn't hold up to BTC till the end of the cycle. That's true, and you're right. It's smart to invest only in the Bitcoins, James. But 97% BTC, I really can't. I don't think it's a wise choice. The transaction fees are very, very bad for Bitcoin. The high transaction fees, and it's not smart to invest in a project that's expensive to use for users. And the alternative, the Lightning Network is not, it's not going to work. But okay, you can disagree on that, but you have to look at what's happening today. Like, is it working? Is it being used? Does it see adoption? Because that really has to work because people, and you really need to be able to do cheap transactions. Otherwise, in the long term, your coin will lose more and more market share to others. And you can see there that it is not happening, in my opinion. So I really would recommend to diversify BTC towards other big coins like Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash. I think that's a very, very wise move. And especially today, Bitcoin BTC still has a very high market share. It just recovered from a low of about 30%, or how much was it, to a high of 60%. So it recovered a lot of market share, but that also means like this is the time to really go to other coins. I agree, not small coins, but I would do the bigger coins that are following Bitcoin BTC closely. Let's see what others we have. But I'm gonna have to end it soon, guys. Ali says I'm 50% PVX. Find it difficult. Where is the team going? Is it a good investment? He asking me. PVX I know is a privacy coin, and it's based on proof of stake. So I think the fundamentals are very good for that project. But of course, you do need good management that really pulls forward the project. Otherwise, it's also not a good investment. And I don't know how that's going with PVX. So you have to judge yourself, read some interviews of the managers. What are they saying? What are they doing? What have they done during this bear market? Is all very important. And if you don't like it, just switch it for other crypto projects. Cryptomedius says that he is 40% Tesla and 60% cash. He's working on a plan to have a 20-30% crypto allocation. Um, um, and he hopes to achieve that. Well, he doesn't know at what prices yet, but if it would hit 3K again, he will go to 100% allocation, crypto allocation. So yeah, I think that's a very good plan. And it's great to see that you're investing in Tesla, also crypto medias. I think it's a good move, and I really hope you succeed in investing something in crypto also. Um, Paul says that he is 30% in Monero and 50% in BTC, and then also 15% in EOS and 5% in LTC. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Paul. I think this is a very traditional portfolio where you have a very large allocation in BTC and then also a bigger allocation in Monero. EOS is a new project. I think that's okay, but LTC 5%. I personally don't think LTC is a good investment, especially not at current prices. But yeah, and Monero, yeah, I shared my opinion also about it. Of course, this is one project hard to criticize because they have actually true real adoption. So, but yeah, I would take another look at that 50% BTC. I think you can make much better investments than BTC in the crypto world. Yeah. Um, Thanks, Mark, for the answer. Welcome, and thanks for sharing. You never asked my opinion on a portfolio. I'm sorry for giving it without you asking. Um, okay, we're through it. A last one here, also 50% BTC. He has some BCH. That's great to see. 10%, also 10% Ethereum. He has Steven Tesla, 5%. Also some gold, 5%, and 15% fiat. Well, Valentin, a true investor, very diversified. Yeah, I think great portfolio. But I would chop off a decent piece of that BTC and just put it in all the other investments you have, except for gold and fiat. So sell some BTC for BCH and Ethereum and Tesla. I think that would be a great move. But actually, on the other hand, yes, today I think that would be the best move and not sell well your gold and fiat and cash, even though that's because it's only 20%. Bitcoin BTC just went up a lot. I think that's the right move. Yeah. On the other hand, of course, I mean, considering current valuation of Tesla, I think gold, fiat money, like 20% in gold and in fiat. Yes, of course you can do that, and you can always keep that on. You will do well if your other investments do well, but I find it a bit a loss of opportunity when you have a great investment like Tesla, which you recognize since you invested in it. Why keep money in cash and why keep money in gold? Like the risk reward of these investments is negative. For sure for fiat. Of course, you can always wait for better opportunities, but I mean, you have basically the same invested in Tesla than in gold. But is that the same risk reward ratio? No. Tesla is a much better risk reward ratio than gold. You have 3 times more invested in fiat than in Tesla. Is fiat 3 times better investment? No, not at all. Yeah, you have to look at it that way. I think you did the diversification very good. Like you're really making sure you're protected no matter what happens. I mean, but yeah, fundamentals are super important, and also where you are in the cycles. And yeah, for your biggest investment, Bitcoin BTC is half your portfolio. Fundamentals are very bad in my opinion. Losing market share very quickly. Yeah, it's very likely going to be the next Netscape or America Online or Nokia or Kodak, like the leader ones, and losing the whole market in the future. That's my opinion of Bitcoin BTC. So you're betting just on the wrong horse there. So I would say yes, if you really want to like have some investment, okay, keep 10% in Bitcoin BTC, but a small allocation. The bigger allocation needs to go to the best risk reward ratio investment, and Bitcoin Cash is and Ethereum and Tesla. All three of them have better risk reward ratios than Bitcoin BTC. So yeah, there you have it. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks all for joining the live chat. I have to go. And And I really I'm very grateful that you all joined and gave so many great questions. And I wish you all a great Sunday.